Welcome back to second half action. National championship game between the Marlboro Shamrocks and the Toledo Thunder. The Shamrocks out in front by a score of 16-13. This is Kevin Graposo along with George Armstrong for Channel 30 Sports, bringing you the action here in the second half. Great first half of action, George.
Absolutely, Kevin. It was the Tom Eitner versus Chris Butts and everybody else who wanted to play football game, because Eitner's been moving the Toledo Thunder up and down the field. They got 13 points on the scoreboard, and Chris Butts has 2 interceptions. It's a great football game. The crowd down here is kind of thrilled. Big rousing round of applause at the end of the half as both teams left the field, and I got to think that that was for both teams. This crowd is excited about the kind of football they're watching.
It's one of the best half of football we've been able to call over the last 2 seasons, and the second half promises to be nothing less than what we saw in the first. 3 points, the only difference right now, and we got a full half of football ahead of us. The Shamrocks won the opening toss, so the Toledo Thunder should receive to open up the second half, and we'll see what Mr. Eitner and company can do. They were really starting to light it up, but Chris Butts was the man in the way of the Toledo Thunder, as you mentioned, George.
Absolutely. The Marlboro Shamrocks defense, I'll tell you, they came out and they took a little bit of a thumping on the first series of downs, and on the kickoff, Greg Moore was hammered, coughed up the ball. Right away, the Thunder were right down there attempting to score again. The Shamrocks defense in a little bit of a reel backwards there. And Chris Butts with the big interception gave the offense an opportunity to get back onto the field. And now it's 16-13. And what a way to end the half, Kevin. We ended the half with the Toledo Thunder moving down the field with 1 minute left. Looked like they had an opportunity to score, at least get a field goal. Chris Butts with another big interception. And right away, the Shamrocks offense comes on, brings the ball down the field, and Toyas puts it through the uprights.
Well, speaking of John Toyas, you mentioned him early in the ball game, how his game has come up a notch in the last few weeks. He's felt the pressure before, and he's come through tonight. He's converted on the field goals and the extra points, so he's a key factor in this ball game. You know, we've got Eitner, we've got Palazzi, we've got Butts, we've got Anthony Griffin as a wide receiver on the Toledo Thunder. We've got Patton, but we've got John Toyas, and he could be the difference as we go through this game.
He certainly could. Either one of these kickers. Hannah's no slouch. Great kicking crew for the Toledo Thunder. Great matchup here. Balanced football teams.
Well, back deep for Toledo will be number 22, John Willis, along with James Worthy, number 26, as John Toyas is just about set and ready to go. Puts a foot into it. It's kind of a wobbler. It's going to kick off to the left side. It's going to run out of bounds, and they'll give him the options here. We'll see if Toyas has to kick it from 5 yards farther deep. We may just see him re-kick it here. The options being explained. And Toledo's going to take the ball 30 yards from the kick. So they'll set up 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Mr. Eitner with great field position, and 14:54 left to go third quarter. They trail by 3. Well, let's see what the Shamrock defense can do here, George.
Well, they're going to have to play hard because Eitner's on the money. He's 13 for 18 with 186 yards and 2 touchdowns on the evening so far.
And immediately we have a whistle, as they'll have to confer, and they may have given the Toledo Thunder an extra 5 yards on that option there, George. So they mark it off to the 35. 30 yards from the kickoff. The kickoff was from the 30.
Now, for the fans who want to watch the Toledo Thunder threats, watch number 80 and 81. Those are the 2 Toledo Thunder tall receivers, the guys with the length. 80 is Jack Walker, 81 is Anthony Griffin.
And Walker and Griffin come out to the right side. 2 setbacks, Gibson and Moody. Norrell's lined up as a tight end left side. Here's Eitner. Handoff, second man through. He's got a hole, and he's taken down by Larry Heindel after a gain of 4 on the play.
Robert Moody on the run. Some quick openers in there for the center of the line for the Toledo Thunder. And as I was saying earlier, Kevin, 80 and 81, Walker and Griffin, the men to watch. Each one of them had 4 receptions. Griffin for 47 yards and Walker for 45 yards in the first half. They're helping Tom Eitner immensely.
They bring in Chuck Lowe. He'll split way out to the left side. They show a little bit of a different look. There goes Walker in motion. Handoff again. Moody, left side, being chased. Matt Mercer drags him down for a big loss.
Well, that may have been Matt Mercer on the tackle, but I've got to tell you who made that play was Chris Giuliani. Giuliani came in and fought off the block, and number 44, Kelly Gibson, got at the ankles of the running back and forced him to the outside and right into the waiting arms of Matt Mercer.
Giuliani comes out along with Mercer. Phil Knowles comes out, and they'll replace them with Jeff Gemma, Aaron Kelton, and Rod Patton.
And we've seen it all through the National Championship Series. Coach Brennan shifting in there, putting different personnel in all the time on the front line for the defense, changing up and trying to foul up the offensive linemen of the opposing teams. They can't get any regular blocking schemes down.
Greg Moore also checks in. Eric Arthur moves up to the defensive end position. Back to pass, Eitner. Here comes pressure. Eric Arthur wrapped him up and dropped him.
No face mask on the call. It looked like he had him around the neck. Eitner not arguing it. He's not looking for the face mask. Eric Arthur with a I don't know what you call that. That was a lasso around the neck.
That's a wrap-up move.
That was a wrap move, all right. And I'll tell you, Eitner trying to break free on one of his scampers. Eitner, as I said in the first half, Kevin, was the leading rusher. I predicted it, and he certainly was for the Toledo Thunder. 26 of their 44 yards on the ground.
Carlos Luna kicks it off, loses his footing, goes straight up in the air. The Shamrocks will have to get away. It takes a Toledo bounce.
Ooh, Matt Mercer doing the don't touch me dance on that one.
There's a flag in the backfield. Shamrocks saying it's against the Thunder. They're saying refuse it. They want the field position. An eligible man downfield. Other than those two wideouts, they can't go till the ball is punted. That was about a 15-yard punt, George. No return, and the Shamrocks are 1st and 10, and they're in Toledo territory at the 49-yard line.
Well, if Luna had gone any further on that slip, he would have been the illegal man downfield, Kevin. His feet went right out from under him, and he just slid about 5 yards on the ground.
Here's Palazzi. Comes right back with the 4 wideouts. Pitches it forward to Frank Fay, loses the ball, and it's called incomplete.
That's the danger of that. I'll tell you, that shovel pass, I hate it. I've hated it all the way along. And that time, somebody almost proved why I hate it. Darnell Rogers.
Well, he came up with the ball, was ruled incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
I tell you, I don't want to get in the Bud and Bud Light argument with these fans down below us. They saw that shovel pass and asked for the play with the real men. Let's get the real men out there.
Montalbano and Moore to the right side. Here comes Moore in motion left. He'll join Lark and Patton. Palazzi being pressured. Steps up. Over the middle. Patton. He's got it. And he's ridden down there by Worthy, but not before he picks up 25 yards and a 1st down.
James Worthy just left Patton a little bit too much room, and I'll tell you what, Rod Patton made some big catches last week against the Brooklyn Mariners. The trainer runs on the field. She was called out there to aid Patton. Now she's trying to chase him. Wait for me. Wait for me. He's fast no matter where he goes.
Palazzi comes out 1st and 10. Frank Fay will remain in the backfield with him. Remember, he comes with the 4 wideouts, but he's not afraid to use Frank Fay as a receiver on this play.
Nope, we've seen Frank Fay score a couple touchdowns, Kevin, on that drag play. Usually he'll go up in the flanker position, make it look like he's going to block, and then drag across the field. And he's usually wide open.
Well, Toledo forced to take a timeout with 11:32 remaining 3rd quarter. They trail by a 16-13 score, and the Shamrocks are on the move.
I'll tell you, what an exciting football game so far here tonight. And let's hope that it goes right down to the wire like this. And if it does, folks, it's NFL rules. 15-minute quarter, sudden death overtime, flip of the coin. See who gets the ball first.
And you can see a lot of the players having trouble with their cleats. They're really caking up with mud. Some of the trainers are out there for Toledo now cleaning off the shoes, as are the Shamrocks. And they got a big brush here on the sideline. just down below us. Eric Arthur's over there to clean off his shoes now. And we've seen Harris had trouble a couple times, lost his footing, so maybe caking up with mud.
Absolutely, and that's the industrial strength brush down there that Eric Arthur's standing in the middle of, and you just scrape off to the sides. They get some.
You don't find those in every stadium, George.
Now Rod Patton being worked on down there by the trainer who finally caught up with him. Looks like she's working a knee, just below the knee. She's pushing things around down there. Patton looks like he's in a little bit of pain.
Well, that'll bring John Montalbato into the game, and he's out to the right side along with Greg Moore. Antoine Locke comes to the left side along with Bob Ferrari. Palazzi. Handoff, Frank Fay straight up the gut. Here he comes, Frankie Fay. And he's got another first down for the Marlboro Shamrocks, so close to it.
And a big hit there put on him by number 42, James White. I got to tell you one thing, Kevin. You can move the ball on these guys, but they're going to make you pay. Frankie Fay with a big run up the gut.
First and 10. 16-yard line for the Marlboro Shamrocks. Here's Palazzi. Looks left side, pump fakes, goes across to the right. He had a man out there. It's just tipped away at the last second. Good defensive effort.
Tony Jones there breaks it up as Montalbano trying to run under the ball. Looked like it was the secondary receivers that Palazzi was going to pump fake to the left. Looked like he didn't like the coverage. Turned and looked back.
Be a 2nd and 10 coming up.
Shamrocks don't want to give up this opportunity, Kevin. They'd like to get 7 points here. Very dear 7 points here as they open up the third quarter. It would mean a lot to get out on top in terms of the opening the scoring.
Palazzi brings them back out.
The wind is picking up, excuse me, Kevin, as the flag starts to fly pretty sternly over there.
It's blowing right in the face of Dave Palazzi. Checks his receivers, takes the snap, looks right side, steps up now. He's going to have to run, loses his balance, stumbles forward, and he'll pick up about 7 yards.
Well, Palazzi plays the Eitner for the Marlboro Shamrocks.
Let's see where they spotted here, George. Tell you, Palazzi got up ahead of steam, but he was losing his balance from the moment he took off.
Looks like it's on about the 4-yard line, Kevin. 9-yard line, I'm being told. It's hard to tell from up here which.
They'll spot him about 7 yards on the gain. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. 10-12, clock running in the third quarter. Here's Palazzi. Watch Frank Fay. Here comes Ferrari in motion. Palazzi. The option play to Frank Fay. Here he goes. And he's down short of the goal line, but he's got a first down at the 2-yard line. Frank Fay.
Now Dave Palazzi courageously keeps that ball until the very last instant. I'll tell you, the Toledo Thunder were breathing fire as they were chasing him down. You hear the cheer from the crowd as they announce the first down.
And into the ball game comes 33, Pete Jackson, 5'11", 235, out of University of New Hampshire. He plunged in from 1 yard out for the first Shamrock touchdown. First and goal from the 2. 9:15 remain. Third quarter. Handoff, second man through. Frank Fay follows Jackson. See where they spot it. No signal yet.
I don't think they're going to give it to him, Kevin.
It'll be 2nd and goal.
When Frankie was being stood up, it looked like he was looking to the sidelines to the official to see if he had gotten it. Or to tell the official, geez, I think I've got it.
He's inches short of the goal line. 2nd and goal. Palazzi brings him out. They stack up the middle. Jackson snipes through. He's got a touchdown. Pete Jackson.
Great run by Pete Jackson right up the gut. Now there's a flag. It looked like a flag come bubbling up out of the middle of that. Somebody went down on a, looked like some pushing and shoving going on. Maybe I was mistaken, but with what's been happening, it wouldn't surprise me. Might have been a hand I saw fly up there as people were trying to hold each other up, but there's some discussion going on down in the middle of the pile. It is a touchdown. Well, official touchdowns are always better than unofficial ones.
Two dead ball personal fouls, one against each team. They'll offset. Touchdown stands. It's 22-13 in favor of the Shamrocks.
Well, the Toledo Thunder now on the short end of the 22-13 score. Eitner's got his work cut out for him.
Now Toyas is in. Patton shaken up. Palazzi will be the holder. I think that's what confused the issue there, George. Palazzi came out.
Right.
And I'll tell you, a little contact there. That's number 98 coming through. Darnell Rogers gets tangled up with number 65, Tom Holmes.
Well, most people only have to suffer the mouth of Rogers. Unfortunately for Holmes, he has to suffer some of the antics. Rogers had to give him a shove and then, you know, try to blow him back. I mean, when you make a foolish mistake and the penalty was on Holmes, but I mean, you know, there's no need to go in there and try to make something happen. He just got scored upon. You know, I mean, for crying out loud.
That'll move him back 5 yards further. Toyas. Roughly 24 yards now. Good snap, ball's down, kick is up, it's long enough. And it's good.
Well, Ferrari comes up with the no mas. There's a lot of extracurricular activities going on right down to the wire, but it's a good point. Marlboro Shamrocks out on top, 23-13.
Oh, it was Ferrari and Curtis Hunt that got tied up there at the end of the play.
Well, in the give and take of it all, Kevin, you got to say that the Toledo Thunder came in here as the unknown quantity to the Shamrocks. They wanted to show them that they could play with them. They've done that so far, but what they haven't been able to do is control their emotions. And if they could do that, I think that they'd be even up. The problem is here that not many teams have gone up against the Marlboro Shamrocks and want to do anything but play football and get out ahead of the Shamrocks and stay there. Shamrocks will take advantage of you even if in an adversarial position. And in fact, under adversarial conditions is when they're at their best. Let me try and say that one again.
Toyas is all set. He's got Worthy back along with Willis. It's a high kick, not too long. It'll be fielded about the 25-yard line. It's taken in there by Worthy. Here's Chris Putz. So a short kick, short return. Pretty decent field position for the Toledo Thunder. And they've got 8:22 remaining here. In the third quarter, they trail by 10.
Now the defense has to hold them. If the defense can make a stand here and get the 1-2-3, it would be nice to see the Marlboro Shamrocks defense stand them up and force them to punt again.
Key series here for both squads. Toledo needs to get the offense in gear again and sustain a drive, work some time off the clock, take some points off the lead. And the Shamrocks need to tighten up that defense and not allow it to happen. Here's Eitner. Handoff, first man through, he's stacked up, Mark Reels. As he takes down Kelly Gibson.
6 feet, 200 pounds of Kelly Gibson. Mark Reels on the tackle, as you said, Kevin. And Eitner's probably going to be going to the air pretty quickly here because the ground game ain't going to work for it. It's 10 points is the deficit. They're only in the third quarter, but they don't want to let that get any further away.
Eitner brings him out. Second down, 6 yards to go. Walker to the right side along with Griffin. Two setbacks again. Little movement by the Shamrocks. Flags are down. Handoff. Second man through. Nothing happening there. Tom Royal stacks him up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're going to the running game, Kevin. They only had 44 total rushing yards in the first half. I don't know that I'd go to the running game. Eitner was on fire in the first half. He was able to connect with a number of key passes in strategic situations, and and move the ball up and down the field. Now they're going to the running game.
So the encroachment call against the Shamrocks would be 2nd down and about 2 yards to go now for Toledo. So they get an assist. A lot of options here for Mr. Eitner, 2nd and short yardage. Eitner again draws the Shamrocks. No flags. There's a 1st down. Willis breaks through, and Phil Knowles just hangs on. It's all the way out to the 48 for a 1st down.
Well, I don't know why it is that these Toledo Thunder players have to get up and shuck and jive at the Marlboro Shamrocks bench. They're down by 10 points. You know, they're not in the lead. I mean, you know, it ain't time for shuck and jive when you're down by 10. I mean, I personally, my frank opinion for those fans out there who might wonder is that I don't go for that crap even if you are in the lead.
And I guess you could well qualify that as a frank opinion, George.
That's right.
Here's Eitner. He's got plenty of time. Fires it off. Mark Reel. He batted it down, almost took it in.
Oh, Mark Reel, unable to capitalize on the spin move, knocked the ball out of the air. Couldn't turn around and make the reception, but I bet he's happy with just getting his fingers on the leather there.
We've seen that spin move before, George. Willis will go out for a breather. Harris checks back in, number 83. And he's going to shoot out to the left side along with Anthony Griffin. To the right side, Eddie Norrells. Again, 2 setbacks. Eitner back to pass, little pressure coming. He fires it off left side. Great catch by Harris.
Well, you said it, Kevin. Ralph Harris with a great catch. He worked his way free, working against Knowles and Jones over there. Just enough for, well, are they going to give him? Yeah, they're moving the stakes. It's 1st down for the Thunder.
Just about 11 yards on the catch. Great leaping catch by Harris. Gives the Thunder another 1st down. They progress down the field. They're just outside the 40-yard line of the Marlboro Shamrocks.
Well, the disadvantage having a ball control offense like the Thunder do is that you can't go blow for blow with the Shamrocks if each team is going to score and you have a 10-point deficit. They've got to make something big happen fast. Open it up and get the Shamrocks defense to open up.
Eitner. And the draw. Here he comes up the middle. Moody. And he's taken down by Larry Heindel.
Larry Heindel tracks him down. And there's some sportsmanship as number 66 helps him up off the ground, Tony Jackson.
Gain of 2.5 on the play.
Well, Kevin, miserably, you failed us and you didn't get any 50-50 tickets. Neither did I.
I knew the pressure was on. Harris checks out for a breather. Griffin and Walker to the right side. Norrells tight end left. Eitner. Big rush. Giuliani's taken out of the play. Heindel puts the pressure on.
You can tell how much the crowd likes that. The defense comes up with a big play.
3rd down and 7. Shamrocks will come with all kinds of defensive backs as Mercer, Giuliani, and Tommy Royal all check out of the game. Gemma's back in along with Greg Moore and Aaron Kelton. Todd Farrell remains in along with Ron Jones. And Ron Jones asks Chris Giuliani, come on back out and give us a hand.
You can still play, Chris, he said.
Here's Eitner, really deep in the shotgun this time. High snap, takes it in. Here comes Giuliani. He avoids the pressure, fires it off. Griffin's got it. Great catch, Griffin, and he's got a 1st down.
Oh, he's hammering out of bounds, but as you said, not before he makes 1st down yardage. Eitner is just so elusive. Nobody's able to track him down. Giuliani had a beat on him. Eitner made the sidestep. I'll tell you, this kid is showing some great abilities here. And I got a good look at Eitner with his helmet off at halftime, Kevin. He looks like a baby. If he's over 18 years old, I'd be surprised. 23, we're told.
There we go.
Toledo Thunder. I'll tell you what a young gun he is.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. 3 minutes left to go, third quarter. Eitner checks the defense. Long count, tries to draw the Shamrocks. There's the handoff to Moody. He's taken down from behind by Giuliani. Petraziak also on the tackle.
Well, Chris Giuliani with his patented great game here tonight. He was the man putting the pressure on Eitner the first, and back up around midfield. Chased him down and forced him out of the pocket on that last play. That time made the ankle tackle. Great aggressiveness being shown by Giuliani.
Little or no gain on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 10.
It's an alpha. An alpha yard he got.
So it'll be 2nd and 9.5. Huh? I'm getting the hang of this away. Gibson and Moody in the backfield. Eitner back to pass. He's got time. Now he comes out of the pocket. He's going to run. Greg Moore takes him out.
Oh, geez, everybody looking for a shot at him.
Greg Moore, Ron Jones down there.
Petraziak, Reels. Giuliani comes over the top. Boy, he's got some foot speed, does Eitner. Chris Giuliani, one of the fastest linebackers in the Eastern Football League, and Eitner just about leaving him in the dust there. Now the Shamrocks with their backs against the wall.
The 3rd down, 4 yards to go for the 1st down. Ball's inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. Here's Eitner. Clock continues to run, 3rd quarter. The Shamrocks out in front by 10. The Thunder threatening. Eitner fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, corner of the end zone. And it's incomplete.
Eric Arthur over there, looked like Eric Arthur. Number 71 is over there arguing. He doesn't want to argue too loud because he may be an illegal man downfield, but he's arguing that Eric Arthur was putting an arm on him.
Like Eddie Norrell's out there that got tangled up with Arthur.
Arthur looked like he turned around at the last second, realized he might have been beaten. He gave a little swat, but the official was right on the scene. Now Eitner's angry. He unstraps his helmet and walks to the sidelines in disgust as they bring the field goal unit on.
Well, there's 53 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter. The Thunder down by 10. They'll try to cut that lead to 7 points here. It'll be a 25-yard attempt. Late man coming on the field. Now they got the full 11. There's the snap. Ball's down. Kick is up. It's plenty long enough. And it's good.
Well, that was a fine one right down the middle there.
So Rusty Hanna brings them back within 7 with 46 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter. It's 23-16.
Well, approximately 5 minutes used up on that drive, though, Kevin, and it only gave them 3 points. Brings them within 7, as you said. But now they've got to rest it onto the back of their defense to stop the Marlboro Shamrocks.
It'll be Greg Moore. We'll see who goes back deep with him. It looks like Bernard Lynch. I'll tell you, there's another great kickoff return, man. It's nice when you can take a Bernard Lynch and fill him in.
Absolutely. The weapons on the Marlboro Shamrocks sidelines, many and seldom used, as they've got a great starting lineup, and boy, they can fill these guys in at will.
I'll tell you, Lynch dazzled them last year in the playoffs, the championship series. So see if he gets an opportunity. He's back deep along with Greg Moore. He wears number 7, Moore number 1.
Now, the last time we went through this, the official gabbing out there with Rusty Hanna. Hanna tried a squib kick. He went back and set up, and all of a sudden ran up and kicked the ball, trying to pull off a quick one.
He's all set and ready to go now.
Watch how much time he takes before he kicks.
I actually have no choice but to watch, George. Here he comes. Hanna booms this one, chases Lynch back. All the way back inside his 5. Moore goes down. Here comes Bernard Lynch straight up the middle. He's over the 20, 25. Breaks it over the 30. Bernard Lynch out to the 35-yard line. And Greg Moore's hobbling back downfield.
It looked like he might have twisted a knee when he fell down there, Kevin. He wasn't in a hurry to get back up, that's for sure.
So Bernard Lynch makes his presence felt with a 33-yard return. He's all the way out to the 35-yard line. That's where Dave Palazzi will take over. 1st and 10. As time winds down in the 3rd quarter.
Lynch grabbed the kickoff and looked over at Moore, and Moore looked up from his position prone on the ground and said, "Bring the bread home. Mama wants it quickly." Lynch delivers.
Here's Palazzi. Antoine Locke in the backfield. The handoff, Frank Fay, right side. He's got a first down. 16 yards, Frank Fay.
Boy, you can't do much but love watching Frank Fay play football, Kevin. What a spark plug he is as the quarter winds down. Frank Fay with another big run and into Toledo Thunder territory.
That'll do it for the 3rd quarter. The score is 23-16. And George, 7 points. The difference in this ball game has been tight all the way through. We've had a couple of lead changes, a couple momentum swings. The Marlboro Shamrocks in control of their own destiny. If they can sustain a drive here, it's going to put that much more pressure on the Toledo Thunder.
Well, the Toledo Thunder didn't want to find themselves in this position, I can tell you, against the Marlboro Shamrocks. 7 points down. Not too often the Shamrocks give up the lead in the 3rd and 4th quarter. They're a 4th quarter team. And the Thunder may not have experienced that in the past. They've got a pretty good record coming in here, 13-0, and probably have been out on top of most teams come this time in the ball game. So you never know what kind of character they can play with late in the game. But if it's up to Eitner, we've seen him play some great football tonight.
1st and 10, Palazzi. He's in Toledo territory. And that looks like Parker. He barrels his way to the left side. He's got 7 or 8 yards on the carry. Chris Parker.
Well, as Coach Bob Brennan on the sideline shuffles up his cards and throws a few more out onto the table, Chris Parker comes off the bench and makes a little bit of excitement work for the Marlboro Shamrocks. Gives him another first down. I'm sorry, he's a little bit shy.
Well, he's got about a yard to go, even less than a yard. It'll be 2nd down. Palazzi, this is probably his favorite situation in football, other than the last-minute drive, is 2nd and 1. And he fakes the handoff. He's rolling to his right side. Buys some time. He's got Parker. He's got a first down. He's all the way to the 24-yard line. Chris Parker. There's a flag.
Well, there's a late hit on somebody. Number 24 over there arguing for the Toledo Thunder, Chris Hunt. A lot of lawyers on the Thunder team. It might have been Indrisano, though, a little bit sick and tired of the late scrapping. I think he might have put a plant on somebody right at the whistle.
Geez, I tell you, as the game goes on, it looks like that crowd across the way even gets bigger, George.
Well, it's a long way from Toledo. They might have misjudged the time.
It's a long way from Tipperary.
Oh, here we go. You take the highway. No, we won't start into that now.
So the penalty will go against the Shamrocks. Still enough for a first down.
Well, the official standing out over the ball, trying to coax it not to move, it looks like.
The ball will be at the 34-yard line. So Parker gets involved in the offense.
Dave Palazzi in the first half was 8 of 19.
He's straight up over the ball at center. Drops into the shotgun. Redirects Parker. Again, a different look for the Shamrocks. He's got everybody going. Palazzi down the middle. Greg Moore, great catch! What a catch by Greg Moore!
And a picture-perfect replay of the catch that we saw last week against the Brooklyn Mariners by Rod Patton in midfield.
We got 2 flags on the play. Unsportsmanlike.
76 has been ejected from the ball game, Kevin. Oh, he's going to go get the flag now and cause himself some more trouble.
Bob Ferrari comes out. He enjoys the show. And we still got injured players down for the Toledo Thunder. Mark Thompson's down.
Well, Greg Moore took the cushion ride to the ground. Thompson went down underneath of him, and another defensive back.
Looks like it might be Worthy.
Deep into the game last week, Kevin, against the Brooklyn Mariners, we saw Rod Patton catch a ball much the same way.
So roughing the passer on the white against Toledo, and an unsportsmanlike, which is, as you called it, George, drawing the ejection.
Now he's over there causing more havoc amongst his own teammates.
Coaching staff tends to the injured players. Looks like Thompson will be okay.
Well, that was Corey Pargo. As I said early in the game, comes from Ohio State University. Unfortunately, not showing much poise out there today.
Well, it'll be 1st and goal for the Shamrocks from the 2.5-yard line.
And they send in number 65, Tony Jackson, 6'2", 295 pounds, to fill in for the shoes for Pargo.
Here's Palazzi. Frank Fay, left side. Not much happening there. He's stacked up.
Well, they try to run right at that position.
2nd and goal now. Palazzi huddles him up.
Palazzi knew that Pargo taken out of the game. They're going to send a new man in there. Why not take a run at that hole?
Moore out to the left, Patton to the right. Looks like Rod's okay. Parker and Fay in the backfield. Dave Palazzi fakes the handoff to Fay. Over the middle. It's up in the air.
Oh.
It's deflected twice, almost picked off.
Phew. Great work by Rod Patton trying to get that football out of the air.
Well, it was almost picked off there by number 24 for the Toledo Thunder. That's Curtis Hunt. Third and goal.
Well, the fans over here taking on the coaching hat. It's tough to be a fan for the Shamrocks. You got to keep all those hats beside you. One for an official, one for a coach. Even the trainer's hat, maybe.
Palazzi, 12-10 remaining in the ball game, looks to extend the lead. Redirects Greg Moore. Now he tells him, get in motion. Here comes Greg. Takes the handoff to Parker. Palazzi keeps it, dives forward. He scores. Dave Palazzi.
And now, Dave Palazzi showing the strength of the Marlboro Shamrocks as he takes it himself and courageously dives it across into the end zone. I'll tell you, there's some stickers out there for the Toledo Thunder. They're out there cracking some heads, and for Palazzi to lay his head down and go out there, he's a brave guy.
So John Toyas comes on. He'll try the point after touchdown. Try to extend the lead to 30-16. As we mentioned, George, it was going to be a pivotal series. And momentum definitely on the side of the Shamrocks right now, as Toyas looks to widen the gap to 14. Good snap, ball's up, it's long enough, and it's good. John Toyas.
Now with 12 minutes left in the game, Tom Meitner's going to get the football back if all goes well on the kickoff. He can't afford to take 5 or 6 minutes and move the football down the field and score. They've got to make something happen in a hurry because the Shamrocks offense is playing a real big part in stretching the lead out here. Every time they get the ball late in the game like this, they're able to score, and that's going to be big trouble. Pargo out of the game now. Defense reeling from lack of composure mostly. Greg Moore putting the ice on it with a big catch. They got a lot of things to contend with on the sidelines for the Toledo Thunder to keep this ball game close.
Toyas just about set to go. He's got it teed up at the 35. Worthy's okay. He's back into the lineup. He'll return this kickoff along with Willis. And we're ready to go. Toyas. It's a high kick, short, about the 14-yard line. Here's Worthy, over the 20. Finds a seam on the right side, and he battles forward to the 36-yard line. Greg Moore on the tackle, and there's all kinds of flags across the way again.
Well, Chris Parker with a great job on the tackle there, because he had been laid on the ground, got up off the block, and came back to make the tackle. Being flattened after the whistle there was number 55, Alan Roycroft, for the Marlboro Shamrocks. Looks like that the hands of Bill Levesque, number 74. These offensive linemen must be pretty well frustrated.
Late hit on the Shamrocks, 15 yards, so excellent field position for the Toledo Thunder. That'll bring them out close to midfield.
Well, maybe that was Roycroft trying to hit Levesque.
The call, I believe, went against Greg Moore, number 1. Ball will be set up at the 49-yard line of the Marlboro Shamrocks. And Eitner will take over 1st and 10. Eitner in the shotgun. 2 to each side. Fires right side. He's got a man out there. It's picked off by Ron Jones.
Wow, great coverage by Jones. Eitner threw that ball, I tell you. I don't know if he was too wise to throw that ball into that kind of coverage. Jones was out there, Butts was out there, Farrell and Dory were over there, and they make them pay.
If I'm not mistaken, that's 2 for Ron Jones.
Well, I think the first one was called back on a penalty, Kevin.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So he still trails Chris Butts by 1. Shamrocks bring it out. Moore to the right side, Patton to the left. George, it's going to be a tough decision on these MVP ballots.
Certainly is.
Here's Frank Fay. And he's hit about 3 and 4 times, finally brought down. There's another flag. That'll go against number 42.
Well,
James White.
Ferrari all game long has been playing right to the edge of the whistle. That's the northern edge, that is, all the way across until that whistle stops blowing.
James White draws the flag.
Well, White's saying, hey, look, he was all over me. I have the right to throw him off. I think White may have a case there because Ferrari's kind of a stickler. But White, it was funny, White standing there behind the official mimicking the call.
Well, the Toledo Thunder are going to have to stiffen up on defense here and stop the Marlboro Shamrocks before they get any farther down the field and waste any more of the clock. They trail by 14 and can ill afford these penalties. Hand off to Parker. Here he comes, right side. Chris Parker, he's close to first down yardage. He's wrestled out of bounds by number 29, Tony Jones.
Flags on the play.
We got flags everywhere. John Montalbano congratulates the Toledo Thunder for that flag.
Well, it's too bad to see they come this far to do this, Kevin.
There's flags everywhere.
Well, Gemma's, there's another flag. That one's probably on Rogers.
Well, the coaching staff's out on the field. That's going to be on the coaching staff. As they're trying to get their players off the field. You hate to see it end up like this. It's been a great ball game all the way through.
Absolutely, Kevin, and it isn't over yet. There's still 9.5 minutes left. You know, for two teams like this, 14 points is not that far of a spread. There's plenty of time on the clock.
Well, we'll see what George Murphy has here. They'll try and sort everything out.
Well, you've heard of kicking butts and taking names, and unfortunately the officials always get to take the names.
So number 78, Tony Hoskins, is tossed for bumping the official. The other penalties were against number 51, E.J. Tucker, and also against number 69 of Marlboro, Peter Ingersano. Those penalties offset, but the ejection stands.
Well, that's an offensive lineman, so he must have come off the bench, Kevin. And I've got to tell you, if you're going to eject Hoskins, he's 6'4", 315 pounds, and I think they got him light on here. They can't eject a guy like that. They have to get a truck down here and literally remove him.
Well, that flag was across the far side of the field, and he must have come on the field. The ruling was he bumped an official. And of all the things you can't do in football, that's probably number one.
Absolutely. You do not want to be rubbing up against, especially in anger, anybody with a striped suit on.
9:35. Shamrocks out in front, 30-16. This is how they scored their first time in the game, George. They were very successful with the use of the yellow flags.
Absolutely.
As there was a breakdown in the concentration and the composure of Toledo twice during the ball game, and it's cost them dearly both times. Here's Palazzi. Frank Fay tries to get to the outside. Good defensive job by the Toledo Thunder. They string it out and throw him for a 2-yard loss.
Well, Kevin, I got to tell you, I think what's happening to the Toledo Thunder here is it's a second-year team. Maybe they're not used to seeing this kind of competition. They come all the way out here. They're pretty confident. They've got a great-looking football team. You know, maybe there's a lot of excitement and expectation. And when it doesn't unfold the way you like it, without a lot of that championship kind of experience in minor league football, hey, maybe that's just what's happening to them. They're not a mature enough squad to handle that kind of heat.
2nd and 11. Moore and Patton to the right side. Jackson in the backfield along with Fay. Here's Palazzi, rolls to his right in the end zone. Patton, touchdown!
Rod Patton finally breaks free back deep in the backfield there, and he just waited under that one. There's another flag back there beyond the end zone. That one may be on Patton for extra celebration. The man he beat was Glover. That's the second time we've seen Glover misjudge a pass, trying to go up for the interception instead of finding the man first.
Tell you, Dave Palazzi starting to put on a clinic again. Dev is for... absolutely right, George. They'll enforce it on the kickoff for the celebration. But it's 36-16.
Oh, Rob Patton wanted to get a little skin on the fans there at the end of the end zone.
There's a big hit. And another flag. And I'll tell you, there's a good heads-up play by Rod Patton.
Well, Tom Holmes is trying to keep his head, and his teammates are trying to help him because that's the second time he's taken an unnecessary poke from one of the
That's E.J. Tucker
defenders.
Again. Now Toyas has a word for him. Now Pete Jackson comes and gets Toyas out of there.
Well, of all the people to go in and break up the fray, it's Ferrari.
.802 remain, and this thing's turned ugly in the last quarter. 20-point advantage. It wasn't this type of game. First 3 quarters, very closely contested ball game. Toyas now will set up and try and make it 37. He's had an outstanding game today. There's the snap. Ball's down. Kick is up. It's kind of wobbly to the left side, and it's wide to the left side. So they'll head back upfield, and Toyas will kick it off from the, I guess, from the 20-yard line, George. But nonetheless, with 8:02 remaining, it's 36 in favor of the Shamrocks, 16 for the Toledo Thunder.
Well, if you're an official in tonight's game, Kevin, you better hope you're a mathematician as well, because there's been a lot of gazintas going on out there. Up and down the field with the flags, 15 this way, 15 that way, offsetting. I'll tell you.
Toyas. And they haven't marked off the penalty yet. They bring out the tee. I'll tell you, there've been so many. Wouldn't surprise me if they forgot about that one, George.
Well, all Toyas wanted to do as he was trying to get that one underway, Kevin, was go over to Tucker and ask him to come down to the prospector after the game. Tucker didn't want to hear it.
Now they'll mark it off. And it'll be 15 yards against the Shamrock. They'll back it up 15 yards. Toyas will kick off from there. Well, we got a moment, George. We'd like to thank John Breen and all the folks down at Channel 30. Tim Culligan, among others, always with us here and on the road in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Glenn and Lisa and John himself for helping us out and allowing us to do the Channel 30 telecast. And a special thanks to Bob Kays, Bob Brennan, and the entire Shamrocks organization from both of us. We appreciate being able to do this for you.
Ditto.
Toyas all set. He'll kick it off from the 20. It's a high wobbly kick heading to the right side, and the penalty will come in. Good field position at the 44, but they could force Toyas even 5 yards deeper.
There's a warbler there. I'll tell you what a different complexion on the second half, as you said, Kevin, and when you were talking about that, how the first half was played so well and the second half has turned ugly, I was thinking about how it would have been nice to have the first half be ugly and have the second half be so well played as the first. National championship, you know, there's a lot of pressure on all these guys. All these are working guys out here. They're forcing themselves to the edge, stretching all their commitments to come out here to play. It isn't easy. A lot of frustration.
Ball's at midfield. Walker in motion. They load up the left side. There is Walker, and he's hit by Aaron Kelton, who comes in as an extra defensive back, and he gets involved.
Well, I can bet that that's probably his first tackle because he's the backup quarterback for the Marlboro Shamrocks out there playing D-back now.
He's in there for his speed and his hands.
Well, Leitner goes to the 2-minute offense.
Back to pass again. He's got time right side. He finds his man, Anthony Griffin. And it looks like he's just shy of first down yardage, but he'll be out of bounds to stop the clock. 6:44 remaining.
Well, Griffin trying to get the D-back to bite up on the inside move, but knowing darn well he was going to step out and stop the clock.
Third down, call it less than a yard to go for the Toledo Thunder.
Not a lot of pressure on the Shamrocks defense as they've got a 20-point lead. They don't want to give it up, though. They don't want to give it up quickly, even if they are in a flexy defense here.
Harrison Norrells to the left side. And he looks left side, and it hits Harris right in the foot, just thrown behind him. Jeff Jemmer in the coverage.
I'll tell you, this guy Harris has done a lot tonight here for the Toledo Thunder. He's worked his way free, had about 47 yards and catches in the first half. He had quite a receiving core there with Harris and Griffin and Walker. And as I said,
and Giuliani check back in.
Regardless of what happens here tonight, you can bet that this Toledo Thunder team is probably going to be seeing more postseason action in years to come.
4th and 1. They're going to try and put some pressure on. Here comes Eric Arthur. He fires it off, and it's almost picked off.
Chris Giuliani with a great read there. And the defense stands for the Marlboro Shamrocks with 5:58 left in the game.
Palazzi comes back out. He'll be joined in the backfield by Chris Parker and Bernard Lynch. Antoine Lark checks in. Jim Murphy comes in on the offensive line, number 57.
Jim Murphy, no little guy either. He tips the scales.
A mere 295. Here's Palazzi straight over the ball. Handoff, Parker. I'll tell you, Chris Parker's had a big second half, George.
Well, we've seen Pete Jackson and Chris Parker all year long, Kevin, the unsung heroes of the Marlboro Shamrocks. They don't get a lot of the glory, but they get a lot of the dirty work, and they come through strong when it's time to use that running game. Along with Frank Fay, quite a combination for the Marlboro Shamrocks.
Jackson a couple TDs tonight. He's back in there. Patton heads to the left side. Moore to the right. And Pete Jackson will line up as a tight end. Here's the handoff. Bernard Lynch, right side. Bernard Lynch has a first down. He's taken down there by number 29, Tony Jones.
Well, Bernard Lynch gets his opportunity to go into the record books and does it in style. Picks up a first down for his team. Pretty nifty run.
I tell you, he had a key play in the third quarter with that 35-yard kickoff return. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 46. Here's Palazzi. Handoff. Parker gets hit in the backfield, spins away, gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Clock continues to run. We're down to the 4-minute mark.
And the Shamrocks now in that run out the clock type of offense. You never know, though. Palazzi can strike from pretty much anywhere at any time. He hasn't played a lot of loose football in the National Championship Series. And he likes to air it out on occasion, as we've seen.
We're going to Disney World!
The crowd comes to life. Somebody screams out, we're on our way to Disney World.
Well, he's not too observant because a lot of these people are in Disney World right now.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. Palazzi, handoff, Bernard Lynch. Here he comes right side. Lynch puts on a spin move. He's all the way down to the 40-yard line. John Montalbano with a big block downfield.
Now playing against the decimated defense of the Toledo Thunder.
He's taken down by Darnell Rogers.
Marlboro Shamrocks, and there's a good sportsman-like activity out there. Is number 24, Curtis Hunt, the defensive back, goes up and gives Palazzi 5. There's some team leaders out there, some budding leaders for the Toledo Thunder.
Moore left, Patton right. Parker in motion. Pitch, Bernard Lynch. Left side, tries to find an opening.
Oh.
Battles forward. He's taken down. He may have lost the ball. See if they rule it down by contact.
He was collared out there, but I think he went down before the exchange. Toyas comes out.
John Toyas back into the game. Big ball game for John.
Clock continues to run.
Heading towards the 2-minute mark.
Well, Kevin, they came around and asked us for picks for the MVPs of the game, as Bob Brennan down there on the sidelines with his wife and daughter under his arms, glowing with pride, the Marlboro Shamrocks.
And well, he should be.
But our picks for the MVP were Frank Fay for the offense and Chris Butts for the defense. 2-minute warning there. And tough picks they were, Kevin, because I'd have to say not giving it to Tom Eitner for the offense was a tough one, because Eitner's been the man all night long here, shown a lot of strength and poise and character for this Toledo Thunder team.
Griffin also outstanding on the Toledo side.
Walker with some great consistency.
Here's Toyas. 2 minutes left in the ball game. Gets it off. It's a high kick. It's not going too far. It's out of bounds.
Oh man, I'll tell you,
Toyas is down. Flag is down.
Toyas was racked there by number 3. Of course he.
And now he gets a little bit of lip, and he's right in his face.
There we go. Tucker wants it, and Toyas is willing to give it to him. No, come on. Eject him from the game.
It's about his 3rd penalty already tonight, George.
And not only that, but he's got to go hitting people in the back. I mean, you know.
Well, they just got to separate everybody, get them both to the benches.
There's no.
1:54 remaining. Shamrock and the Thunder coaches to come out and try and calm down the players.
I don't know if Darnell Rogers practices voodoo, but he's out there with his body shirking and jerking and everything. He's so angry, he's just having body pulses all over the field. I got to tell you, it's too bad to see after a hard-fought first half, this thing slipped away in the third quarter.
Well, we'll see what the call is here. There was roughing the kicker call. Then there was some pushing and shoving.
This guy with the red and white and blue jacket out there, I don't know if I'd want him as my spokesman. He's out there trying to talk to the officials. He doesn't look like he's too calm and cool.
Unfortunately, a great game for 3 quarters, and everything just kind of fell apart in the 4th quarter. Larry Heindel kind of pumps up the crowd.
Well, now I'll take that back. He's trying to get the team under control. He's telling his team members to get back on the sidelines.
You might see ejections here. It could be E.J. Tucker along with John Toyas as they get into the shoving and punching match.
Well, you know what Julius Caesar said, live to fight another day, my friend.
36-16, and I'll tell you, this kind of takes some of the edge off the game, George.
It certainly does, and it's too bad for the fans who came all the way out here from Toledo to have to watch that too. You know, they've got a strong football club, and it's too bad to watch a couple of bad actors causing problems.
One minute and 40 seconds remain in the game.
Well, if I might say, Kevin, I'll call my own number once again and say that I said early on in the game that if they keep pumping up the Marlboro Shamrocks fans and the Marlboro Shamrocks by playing some slap-happy post-whistle activity, they're not going to come out on the happy end of it, and they certainly haven't here tonight. The Shamrocks will play up to that, and they'll run it down your throat, and as they've shown, 36-16 the score.
Here's George Murphy. We'll see what the call is. Roughing the kicker, the first call. A personal foul against John Toyas. Not sure if it was both Tucker and Toyas both got penalties. I'm not sure if they were both ejected.
Well, number 51 in white, I'm sure he said was ejected from the ball game. And I'm sure that's a relief to everybody out there who has to continue to play, because that kind of cheap stuff sometimes ends football careers when it comes down to cheap hits and taking out knees and such. But I think there was a mistake there, Kevin. It was number 3 that I saw, Mark Thompson, who hit Toyas. And 51, Tucker came in after it.
Here's Palazzi. Brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Lionel Calder into the game.
Well, the Thunder want him to just snap the ball and get it over with.
Well, they ran the clock for a good 40 seconds while nobody was looking, George. Now we're ready for play. Palazzi takes a knee.
Well, they're going to have to do it again, Kevin, because there's still 44 seconds left on the clock.
Well, they may just let it run out regardless.
Yeah, I think that'd be a wise decision, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. They're going to call it a ball game.
Well, then it's my pleasure for the second time in 2 consecutive years to announce that the Marlboro Shamrocks are the national champions of minor league football. And the final score, 36-16. George, as we noted earlier, great game for 3 quarters. Things kind of fell apart at the end, but you can't change the fact that Marlboro Shamrocks, 2 years in a row, national champions.
2 years in a row, we've seen this team come back from all kinds of adversity. Last year they had 3 losses on the record. This year they came through the season with only 1 loss, 16-1 the final on the year, so that makes it a combined record of 30-4 over 2 seasons and 2 national championships back-to-back, 4 Eastern Football League titles. This is a great football team making its mark in the annals of minor league football. And hopefully for the Toledo Thunder, who visited here and played so valiantly in the first half, they'll be able to continue and come back and do some more to show that the kind of football that they play out there in the Mid-Continental Football League is of top-notch variety. I'll tell you, Kevin, first half football, as you said, you know, it was quite a contest. Two balanced teams having at it, blow for blow, right down to the wire in the first half.
I'll tell you, great play in that first half, and I'll tell you, it could have been a different ball game had it not been for Chris Butts coming up with the big interceptions. Twice broke up major Toledo Thunder drives and swung the momentum back to the Shamrocks. And second half, for all intents and purposes, it was all Marlboro Shamrocks. And there's the Shamrocks down around the 30-35 yard line as they all group together.
Mike Balzerini down in the front, Larry Heinel trying to pop the top.
And the champagne begins to be sprayed. Larry Heinel trying to launch that bottle.
Ferrari lets one loose, and he's got his helmet on, of course. Ferrari no stoop.
Tom Holmes over there. And Pete Androsano comes over. He's got a bucket of water. He's got somebody lined up. Let's see who it is.
Oh,
it's Bob Brennan.
Oh, and he's drenched.
I think he'll shake it off.
I think he's so happy tonight, literally. I think Bob Brennan might have faced a little bit of shock in the first half as this Toledo team came in here, was penalizing itself silly and still managed to come out with only down by 3 points in the first half. I think they gained a little bit of respect from Bob Brennan. Second half, the Shamrocks come out, play their own ball game, stay in the game, and let the Thunder shoot themselves in the foot, capitalize on every mistake. And here we are, 36-16.
Well, we're going to have some presentations coming up. Championship trophy, MVP awards.
Best hair to Freddie Rabaney.
Oh, definitely. Another standout season for Freddie's Mohawk. And they should be shifting down to the field any moment now. You can see the Marlboro Shamrocks continue to whoop it up down there. Haven't seen Bobby Kays as yet.
Well, he's probably selling those last couple burgers out down there.
You know how he's a stickler to clean things up before he gets out on the field.
Coach Jim Attaway, congratulations to all the sub-coaches. There's Coach Kays with Jim Attaway down there. Coach Garrett. Entire coaching staff. Jim Petkwich. Freddie Rabaney, all these guys putting a major effort into another national championship chase. And here it finalizes tonight in victory.
There's our buddy Glenn right down below us, camera in hand, trying to get a close-up of Coach Bob Brennan and the trophy awards.
Coach Brennan being molested by Mark Reel.
Again, our thanks to all the folks at Channel 30 in Marlboro. Yeah. Bob Brennan. There's Bobby Kays down with Bob Brennan, who's taken George Murphy's mic away. And we'll have the presentation. Mayor McGordy.
official from the Toledo, Ohio's mayor's office. And I suggested to him that this would be one hell of a game, but that after it was done, the Toledo Thunder were going to find some Shamrock lightning, and they got it tonight for the second game.
So Mayor McGorty fires up the crowd.
It's a great pleasure, a great night to present for the second year in a row the national trophy to our Marlboro Shamrocks.
And the presentation of the National Championship Trophy.
USFA, MLFA Commissioner Gary Shaver down there.
Football Association and the Minor League Football Association, it's my pleasure to present to the Marlboro Shamrocks the championship trophy for the second year in a row.
That's Gary Shaver congratulating Bob Brennan. Hard-fought tournament.
A big cheer for Coach Bobby Brennan. And Bob Kays and the entire Marlboro Shamrocks organization.
But there's someone who is sitting out here tonight watching us from afar. Let's remember our good friend, Ralph Grasso.
And the biggest hand of the night maybe for Ralph Grasso.
We have a couple of MVP awards to give out tonight. The Commissioner's Award, most valuable player on offense, Dave Palazzi, Marlboro Shamrocks.
MVP on offense goes to Dave Palazzi, number 8.
These awards were voted by members of these awards were voted out by members of the press, representatives from the Eastern Football League, the Mid-Continental League, the Empire Football League, and they should really mean something. MVP on defense, Chris Butts, Marlboro Shamrocks.
And Chris Butts on defense. So it's a sweep for the Marlboro Shamrocks, national championship number 2. And offensive MVP, Dave Palazzi. Defensive MVP, Chris Butts.
Chris Butts, an excitable guy. He's down there with a big wide open smile of his.
I want to make one announcement.
And Bob Kays.
We could not do this without you guys, the fans. You guys have been absolutely super all season, and I thank you very much. The Shamrocks, thank you very much.
Bob Kays give those congratulations to a large number of fans who stayed on here to watch the celebration, and they should well be congratulated because they are dedicated and through the last couple years have shown that dedication and helped the Shamrocks come to the pinnacle of minor league football twice in a row.
Well, a great combination of the community of Marlboro and the community of the Marlboro Shamrocks. They work hand in hand in so many other endeavors other than just football. Bob Kaye is involved in many things throughout the community, as are the Shamrock organization. It was just another great season, 2 in a row among many, many great seasons over the course of the years, George. I know you've taken your share of knocks against the from the Marlboro Shamrocks in your playing days.
Well, took a couple with the Shamrocks helmet on too, Kevin, and had a lot of fun against and for the Marlboro Shamrocks organization. And over the years, as you said, 10 championships in the Eastern Football League under their belt, and now 2 national championships, making the mark for the Northeast of football. Coach Brennan told me a couple weeks ago that he believes the best minor league football in the country is played right here in the Northeast, and he's got the championships now to show it.
Well, that just about does it here from Kelleher Field. Want to remind you again, the Marlboro Shamrocks, national champions, once again, 2 years running. Your final score from Kelleher Field: the Marlboro Shamrocks 36, and the Toledo Thunder 16. For George Armstrong, I'm Kevin Graposo, and we'll see you next season.
Thank you, everybody. See you next year.